Welcome back to O'Gorman High School as we get ready for second half action here between the O'Gorman Knights and the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Interesting. Oh, I was going to say, not sure where Cole was. They had to throw in a late sub, but must have been taking a minute over in the locker room, coming out. So the Riders will start the same five. Instead of Cole, though, it'll be Pesica in, and the Knights start with their same five in a 44-16 ball game here to open up the third quarter. Knights turn it over on their opening possession. So Roosevelt will have the basketball now. Johnston, deep triple off the front iron, no good. Rebound to Lucy Moore. She had the hot hand in the first half with 15 points to lead the Knights. Nice pass inside as Eggert up off the window, good for two, and we've got an injury on the floor. Doesn't look to be a good one either, as Cousins is down, hobbling in pain on the floor.
Yeah, it's two Riders that kind of ran into each other, kind of had a collision on the rebound with Cousins getting the worst of it, so let's hope she is okay. We're going to take a injury timeout with 7:24 left in the third quarter. O'Gorman leading Roosevelt 46-16. Welcome back. Cousins helped off to the Riders bench. Looks like maybe a knee issue with her.
I think it's actually that ankle, knee or ankle. It looked. I went back and watched the clip there, and it looked like she might have came down on someone's foot.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that's a rolled ankle or if that was a knee buckling, but she went down quick and then just stayed down. So we hope that Cousins obviously is okay. As Roosevelt will have possession now. Into the hands of Pesica now. 8 on the shot clock. Johnson kicked to the corner. Cole's going to have to get something up. Got it partially tipped from behind. Rebound into the hands of Trevine, and then a jump ball called underneath the basket. It'll be Roosevelt possession out of the jump.
Well, wouldn't it be a 24? I don't think the ball ever hit the rim, did it?
Oh, they will reset it.
Okay.
I think they said that O'Gorman had possession on the rebound, and then it was a jump ball. As they throw that one away, so Trevine will race on the floor. Bounce pass, then stolen away immediately by Cole. She'll race down the floor and then dump off a pass to the left corner. That's a two-pointer that time from Pesica. Inside rebound, no good by Johnson. And then tried to be saved by Eggert and thrown off of the leg, but she stepped on the baseline there beforehand, so it'll stay with the Rough Riders.
That's a case where you think, Johnson, you're thinking you're going to get the shot blocked, so you're going to put it up really quickly. She actually had more time than she realized it. It would have had an open layup. I think the presence of a Wang at Koi down low makes you speed up things a little bit. And as I say it right on cue, Wang Koi does not even jump and blocks the
layup attempt from McCall there.
46-16. O'Gorman leading, 5:30 left, running clock right now.
12 seconds on the shot clock here. Johnson with it up top. Swings it over to Cole. Cole's going to have to do something with it here. Gets into the hands of Pesica. Back to Cole. 3 on the shot clock. Swooping move inside. No good. Rebound by Asifa. Couldn't get the initial one to go. Then goes up off the glass and got the second one to go. It's nice patience there by Asifa, grabbing the ball not once but twice.
Get an offensive rebound while you're at it in a basket.
More tough shot off the window, no good. Rebound inside by Owangakoy. Kick out Abdouche, quick fire triple is good. So
Molly joins Lucy in double figures. She has 12.
It's Cole with it now. Roosevelt eats up that shot clock on most of their offensive possessions here as they continue to work it around. Kick to the wing, three-pointer, no good from Cole. Rebound bounced into the hands of Abdush. She'll race down the left side of the floor, joined by three Knights. Kick to Moore. Moore drives inside. Tough finish off the glass, good for two.
Wait, Lucy, she's had about three difficult finishes. That one with the right hand, the first two in the first half with the left hand.
She's got to be close to a season high here in points with 17. I know that she's usually at 12, floating in that 8 to 12 point range most times is what it feels like.
Look at Ager just playing volleyball with the ball. Bounces it almost into the sideline. Got some subs coming in.
It looks like we're probably not going to be seeing any more Cousins tonight for the Rough Riders as she's got that shoe off of her left foot now and a trainer working on that ankle/knee area and getting the ice out.
Eagle eye for you up here. I just see it that way in the far corner.
Don't even have my glasses on either. I guess it's just a miracle tonight.
Must be seeing the right vision, doctor. Oh, you're young enough.
Young enough. I'm turning another age in about a month, but it still won't be that old, I guess.
When you're in your early 30s like me, you'll be all right.
Cole with it. Swings it over into the baseline. Tough two, no good off the backboard and rim at the same time. As the Knights have actually unloaded their bench here a little bit. As Lizzie Catman into the game.
Time.
Yeah, early into the ball game for Catman to be in that third quarter already. As Moore kicks it to the corner with Catman now. Go off the dribble near the wing. Cross-court pass to Benson. Benson off the dribble. Up top to Catman, over to Abdush. Swings it over to Moore. Moore off the dribble now. Kicks it over to Peterson. Stop and pop triple for Payton is good.
O'Gorman, they've really had the three ball working tonight from the beginning of the game into the second quarter, carrying over to the third quarter. Really, he's here to slap from up here on the Peterson that time, but a really sharp shooting game for O'Gorman in the Sodak 16, which is something you really like to see as you go into the state tournament and these more pressure games, able to shoot the ball really well.
So that'll send Roosevelt to the free throw line with Aubrey McCall. She knocks down the first.
And the Knights on the year, Isaac, they're only shooting 28% from the three-point stripe. So a team that hasn't, over the course of 20 games, really shot it that well.
And that might have been an emphasis a little bit on Coach Bradfield's part to make them earn this win from the three-point line. I mean, I could
play your percentages.
Yeah, play your percentages and say we're going to try to take away that inner paint area in the half court, make them shoot. And the Knights, fortunately, a good shooting night. Unfortunately for Roosevelt, catching the Knights on a good shooting night from the perimeter. Peterson with it, off the dribble, crossover into the paint, left-handed scoop shot finish is good for two.
Nice move by Payton Peterson that time.
Swing to the corner, dump inside, tipped away. His Cole shot is then blocked by Catman, who then tries to throw it away, gets it batted away into the hands of Cole, who's running around the baseline, saves it. Still 7 on the shot clock. They want to reset there. Tipped out of bounds off the Knights.
(12-4) here in the third quarter, OG advantage.
Inbound to Cole, dump inside, kick back out. Olsen swings it across to Pesica. Cole with it up top. Uses a hard screen that time from Lauren Schluter, as that three-point shot is no good. Peterson draws contact there from Pesica. That one inbounded and then just thrown out of bounds. They're actually going to give more credit with the save before going out of bounds. And then a travel on the Riders on that attempt. And now O'Gorman, running clock, 5 seconds left. They're trying to get it inbounds for a shot attempt here. Moore with one-footed shot is no good. And, Moore might have rolled the ankle a little bit there.
So after 3 quarters, it's O'Gorman 56. It's Roosevelt 20 in the Sodak 16 matchup. We'll take a 60-second break and be back for the start of the 4th quarter. You're listening to Knights Girls Basketball on the Bishop O'Gorman Catholic Schools YouTube channel.
We're going to come back quicker than anticipated because we've got some score updates from around the state to check in on. As we've hit March and March Madness here between the Lady Knights and Rough Riders, we've got other games in action, and we will get to those right now. Harrisburg and Washington, the 7-10 matchup over at Harrisburg. The Tigers lead the Warriors 38-21. Pierre on top of Huron, 30-22. Brandon Valley on top of Brookings, 36-20. Need a little more cowbell out of the band tonight here as Jefferson leads Watertown 39-34. As those other games are just about 5 minutes from tipping off over West River. Then in boys action, while we continue to have the girls game going on here, number 1 seeded Mitchell will host Yankton in a battle of the last year's state championship game in the now 1-16 matchup. Yankton bested Mitchell last year in the championship. Now Mitchell, the number 1 overall seed, gets the number 16 seed and last team in, the Yankton Bucks.
I don't think that will ever happen again.
No. Travel on Catman there as the 8-9 matchup is the Sioux Falls Jefferson Cavaliers and the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. Harrisburg, the 2 seed, gets Sturgis Brown. Number 7 seed Watertown gets number 10 seed Lincoln. That could be a really good game over at the Watertown Civic Arena. Roosevelt hosts Aberdeen in the 4-13. Washington hosts Pierre in the 5-12. Brandon Valley hosts Spearfish in the 5-14, and then Huron and O'Gorman, obviously the game that we were alluding to earlier, over at the Huron Arena in the 6-11 matchup, and the winner of that game would get the 3-14 matchup between Brandon and Spearfish, which would be interesting if O'Gorman did win that game against Huron tomorrow evening and Brandon wins. That was the early win that O'Gorman had over Brandon to start the season, if you will, and get them on the winning pace as they defeated Brandon in that opener at Brandon.
That's a long 3 by Morgan Johnson getting on the scoreboard for the first time. She shot that one almost from way downtown.
Claire Benson, deep 2 that time. Foot was on the line. She knocks down the deep 2.
And I believe that O'Gorman-Huron game, that's a 6 p.m. tip-off time.
Yeah, the Fighting Mark Strux and the O'Gorman Knights getting ready to square off tomorrow as Johnson, another deep 3. Is that one stolen away by Pesica and then fouled hard by Catman?
Mark Struck, he had the Huron Arena rock and went in the late 80s, early 90s.
Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, the Huron Arena was bumping.
The short shorts are flowing.
Yep, short shorts, probably, just low, just about mid-thigh would be about that era. And I wonder what material. I mean, either those things were heavier than heavy, or they had the holes in them. I can't remember. Free throw good by Pesica.
Oh, and then she gets a steal. Tyla Mooney in for O'Gorman.
As Cole hands it back to Johnson. Thought about another deep triple. Now she'll drive inside, right-handed tough shot is good. Ruby Moore will bring it across the half-court line. And then lost it once, and then into the hands of Asifa.
Boy, that running clock sure makes the quarters go by faster, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Yeah, the clock just continues to run. 5 minutes left here and a timeout from O'Gorman.
58-26, 5:14 left in the 4th quarter. Well, let's stay right here in the Sodak 16 girls basketball matchup. The girls state tournament will be next weekend, and that'll be at the Sanford Pentagon.
Great venue for it.
Second straight year at the Pentagon. Yeah, this is I feel like a perfect venue for AA girls basketball. I think the teams really enjoy it. It just seems like it's very friendly for the audience as well. Kind of that old school feel if you've never been to the Pentagon as well. And then the boys state tournament will be the following weekend. So these boys teams, whoever win tomorrow night, the 8 teams that win, they're going to have to wait basically 2 weeks to play again.
Yeah, which is always, in my mind, just the dumbest thing of all time. But, bring back the combined state tournaments. I know that people were so against it. But the combined tournaments were honestly a great opportunity for fans to go out and experience both games. Even if you're an out-of-town traveler, like when back in 2017, my junior year of high school, when we were out in Rapid, both O'Gorman's Lady Knights and the boys teams won the state tournament, but a lot of the O'Gorman fans were just talking about how great of an experience it was, because if you're going to make that trip out to watch and you get the opportunity to watch 2 separate teams play because they'll never play at the same time, if you get to go make a trip, as Ruby Moore takes that one in off the window, what a great opportunity to get to see both the Lady Knights and the Knights, or any other team in the state for that matter, your girls and boys programs at the same venue, same weekend. It's just a great environment.
And Morgan Johnson made another basket on the previous possession for Roosevelt, so she has all 7 of her points are here in the fourth quarter. It's a little stressful for announcers. I remember back that same year as Cole's three-pointers a little bit off, fight for the rebound. We did the girls' game at the Ice Arena, the first game of the tournament, and then we had to hightail it up to the Civic Center, up to the rooftop area, basically in the balcony area. They could do your boys' game, which you were the 1 seed in that one, which a lot of quick tearing equipment down and running it up to the other place and getting it set up as Peterson misses that shot.
Yeah, that would, I guess. Yeah, I wasn't around for that experience, but yeah, that would have been a little chaotic. Because now we've got a couple of new faces checking in for both squads here.
Nice gesture by the Roosevelt fans, giving their players a little bit of a standing ovation as the starters pretty much will pretty much check out for the final time this season.
Mooney takes it all the way in off the window for 2.
Nice job by her using the backboard that time for the layup.
So now Dewan kicks it over to the wing as that 3 then goes right off the face of a Rough Rider off the the hit off of the rim as Rose's 3 was off the mark.
That ball goes between Catman's fingers out of bounds to the Riders. Really good performance by O'Gorman in this ball game. There was never any doubt. 16-3 start. Roosevelt did make that little bit of a 8-0 run to get it to 8-1 run to get it within 6, and then O'Gorman went on that about a 17-0 run in the second quarter, and it's never closer than that.
Dvoracek racing down the floor. They're going to call a carry on her that time. So Riders basketball flings it over into the corner. That's Dewan up top now to Rose. Rose swings it over onto the perimeter into the hands of Mackenzie Johnson, the senior. Dump off, down, kick out. 3-pointer from the wing, too strong, no good. Rebound nearly tipped by Schluter. And it will stay with the Riders here. Another sub into the game for the Riders. That's Madeline Hog-Ram. Hog-Ram. That one's stolen away by Benson. She'll race down the floor. Turns around and hands it off to Mooney. Kicks over to Dvoracek, drives inside. Tough 2 for Dvoracek. No good. Rebound inside by Catman, who then got plunked in the face. We're going to call a jump ball underneath the basket, and it will stay with the Knights. Inbound here. Dump to Catman. 2-point shot is no good. Rebound is going to be nearly ripped away by Dvoracek, and now the Riders will have it. Working it around the perimeter. Rose, deep three, no good. Rebound by Dvoracek. Then throws it in the front court to Abby Makuska, who slows it down a little bit. Hesitation dribble into the hands of Dvoracek. Steps into a triple, and it's good.
One last three-pointer to add to that tally tonight for O'Gorman. I'd guess this might be the season high for three-point makes.
Just going to say, they've kind of been on fire. Deep triple is good by Rose. Man, she can just shoot it from anywhere on the floor. And call it travel that time. So that'll do it here from O'Gorman High School as the Lady Knights have punched their ticket to the state tournament. The overall 1 seed completed their perfect regular season and then defeats the Riders 65-31 here in SODAC 16 action between these two squads. We'll have a short trophy presentation after here as they will receive their plaque for the state qualifier.
So another state tournament appearance for Coach Kent Colesrud. It's kind of a tradition in March every year, these girls. I mean, kudos to him, his assistant coaches, the girls over the years. This is our 10th year doing it. Every year they've made it.
As they'll celebrate at the half-court line. As the boys team walking out of this one as they did stay to support the Lady Knights tonight, just straight behind the half-court line as they get ready for their game on the road tomorrow against Huron. And they just announced that O'Gorman will play the noon game, obviously as the 1 seed, over at the Pentagon next Thursday, and that will be between the winner of the Rapid City Stevens and Rapid City Central game happening over West River that just tipped off about 5 minutes ago. An hour-long game tonight, Brett. An hour long.
It's just crazy, go from football season where the games seem like a lot of them will drag for a long time. We even ran out of time on one of our streams earlier this year. And then the girls' games just go by so quick. Just a quick recap if you're just joining us. The Knights were up 16-3 in the first quarter. Riders made a nice little 8-1 run. O'Gorman was up 19-11 going to the second quarter. Then they scored the first 17 points of the second quarter, taking the 44-16 lead at halftime as a running clock. All of the second half that moved on really fast. O'Gorman in the second half outscored Roosevelt 21-15, getting a win by 34 points, 65-31, advancing the state tournament. If you're watching the stream, the girls are getting introduced, getting their medals. And the Riders girls, I like that, just staying on the court, kind of just watching them, clapping for them. So good sportsmanship there for the Rough Riders girls, who will finish their season at 4-17. But as Isaac and I alluded to earlier in this broadcast, the Riders only have 3 seniors on their roster. Only one of them really plays. So they're going to have a lot of returning talent for Coach Bradfield next year, which he'll be entering year 3 with the Riders.
As Knights rounding out their final couple of Lady Knights here as they get the seniors announced last together.
Steve Keeter giving the medals with a big smile on his face.
Steve in the mustache. As they get the senior managers their awards as well.
Hopefully about this time tomorrow night or a little bit later on, though, Gorman boys could be doing the same thing in Huron.
As that'll do it for the awards down on the floor as the Knights get their plaque, their state tournament qualifier. As now the Riders make their exit off the floor. Those are always tough post-game locker rooms for a team that either, when their season ends, whenever that moment is, always tough. And, a couple of seniors on the team, one that played a lot, starter for them, that, their last game of their high school career. So always a tough locker room, but always a good chance to think about all the positive things that happen throughout the season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been practicing together since, November. So, sometimes it goes by pretty fast, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of memorable bus trips, a lot of memorable moments for the Riders girls. And O'Gorman's journey is just kind of starting over again now that they, you finish the regular season, then you go to the SODAC 16, you win that. Now you have a week to prepare for the state tournament, which will be right here in Sioux Falls at the Pentagon, and they'll be looking at the winner of the Stevens Central game in that first noon game a week from or next Thursday. And then maybe if you want, Isaac, you can probably go through a few of the scores, and then we can maybe do a few of the boys, mention who the boys matches will be tomorrow night, and then kind of wrap her all up here at O'Gorman High School.
So over in Harrisburg, the 7-10 matchup, Harrisburg leads the Warriors of Washington 52-35. So that 7-10 matchup didn't quite live up to the hype that we thought it was for a close game that it could have been, as Harrisburg kind of came in and controlled that one. Pierre on top of Huron right now, the 4-seed Pierre 46-31. Brandon Valley in somewhat of an actual tight basketball game over at Brandon, 57-44 between them and Brookings. That one 3 minutes left. Over there, Jefferson clinging to an 11-point lead at Jefferson over Watertown right now. Spearfish and Aberdeen score we've got underway. No score yet from Rapid City Stevens or Rapid City Central. And then obviously in the boys' games tomorrow, Sioux Falls, Washington, we'll go with earliest tip-off to latest tip-off, if you will. Sioux Falls, Washington, and Pierre, that tip-off at Washington is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Harrisburg and Sturgis over at Harrisburg is also a 2 o'clock tip-off. Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Aberdeen Central at Roosevelt, that's a 3 o'clock tip. Brandon Valley and Spearfish is also a 3 o'clock tip, as well as Jefferson and Stevens, a 3 o'clock tip. And then we've got Mitchell and Yankton, a 5 p.m. tip-off, and then Watertown and Lincoln, a 6 p.m., and O'Gorman and Huron, a 6 p.m. So the night caps between Watertown and Lincoln and O'Gorman and Huron.
Yeah, a lot of good boys matchups. I mean, you look at the Jefferson hosting Stevens. The Stevens boys lost 2 really close, tough games to Washington and Lincoln last Friday and Saturday, both by 3 points. So they go from having a higher seed and going to host to now having to travel back up to Sioux Falls. They got Jefferson. I'm looking at that 8-9 game. Watertown and Lincoln, as you mentioned, that 7-10 at the Watertown Civic Arena. That arena will be bumping tomorrow night. And then you just look at the 2 games of Washington and Pierre. Pierre potentially has potential to be a spoiler there. And here on O'Gorman at 6 o'clock, it's the Knights boys. Could they get victory, get back to state? Last year they didn't make it to state, losing at Pierre. So can Coach Roby get them back, or will the Huron Tigers make it back to state? I'm sure there'll be a big Huron crowd for that one as well.
Absolutely.
And, it'll be kind of fun to see how that goes. But basketball season, Isaac, another one for us kind of in the books. It goes by really fast, starting in early December, and then you had the Christmas break, and then it's a heavy January schedule, and then February, and then all of a sudden you're into March, and you're in the SODAC 16, and you're watching the Knights go back to state as the number 1 seed, undefeated, prohibitive favorites. But I mean, that's why you play the game, and Coach Colzer will have them ready to go, trying to win a state title 2 and 3 years. So we'll see what happens. We wish them the best of luck. We wish the boys, obviously, good luck tomorrow night at Huron. Hopefully they can make it to state at the Premier Center, which will be the 14th to the 16th. And enjoy doing this again with you, partners. This is a fun for me. Obviously, this is 10 years for me doing the boys and girls basketball. It's been a joy to work with Isaac for about half of those years now. Gosh, time flies by really fast to think of when you first did that first game up in Yankton.
Yeah,
and,
literally.
Came in a crowded arena, and we did that game, and the rest is kind of
from the Crow's Nest area. Just kind of had a blocked view from the side,
sandwiched between like 3 Yankton radio stations in a little area. But we made it work, and
yeah, that was a good time. And yeah, over into even some of my favorite ones, the state tournament in Rapid City that year, where we were again up in the nosebleeds, basically touching the catwalk up there for that one, and those were some fun games. So yeah, it's always been a joy doing these, and something to look forward to every time that there's a game on the schedule that night that doesn't conflict with something else. It's always fun to be here.
Absolutely, and both want to thank Steve Keeter and the O'Gorman Athletic Department for letting us do this, and also thank Joe Hurley and the IT staff for getting us the equipment to do this, and just all the fans in general, the parents, all the kind words. I'm sure Isaac gets plenty of calls, texts. I've got a lot of them from people that I don't even know and say, hey, hey, I listen to you guys. You do a great job. One of my doctors, I got a checkup at Avera back in December. He knew Isaac, and he said, "Oh, you sounded familiar. I didn't know. Oh, you do the games with them. Okay, I love watching. You guys do a great job." So it's just you just never know who you're going to run into that's randomly watching or listening to one of our streams on YouTube. So
absolutely.
Any final comments, Isaac, before we?
Well, obviously, good luck to the boys tomorrow, who've got that game tomorrow. But good luck to the girls in the state tournament. They get kicked off next week. On a Thursday afternoon, that noon game. Sometimes kind of a tough game to just get right into, that noon tip-off. I mean, that's the earliest you're usually going to play a game on a weekday. I mean, obviously the earliest on a weekday, but sometimes the earliest you'd play a varsity game even in the season, unless you're running on Keeter time on one of those Saturday games.
Exactly.
But yeah, that noon tip-off will be interesting to see how the Lady Knights can handle that. They're going to get a good team, either one of the Rapid City schools. They're battle-tested. It'll be a good team for them to have to play against. So it'll be something to be looking forward to. And then obviously just fun doing these, like you alluded to, another successful season for the girls and boys. The girls finish off the undefeated season. Ticket punch the state. Knights trying to get the ticket punch tomorrow for the boys' side. So I'll be paying attention to that one tomorrow evening.
Oh, definitely. You probably follow Isaac on Twitter as well. He might be tweeting a few updates on that one. So for my buddy Isaac Struck, I'm Brett Byler. Thank you, everyone, again for another great O'Gorman basketball season. Good luck to the Lady Knights in the state tournament, and good luck to the boys tomorrow night at Huron in the Sodak 16. Signing off for the final time this season. Go Knights.